Imagine this. You're 70 years old. You've spent decades working, sacrificing, and giving your best. But now, when you should be enjoying the fruits of your labor, you're struggling to afford even the basics. No vacations, no security, no freedom, just stress, dependence, and regret. If that thought alone doesn't terrify you, it should. Because after 70, if you don't have money, it means something. It's not just about bad luck. It's about the choices, the habits, and the mindset that led here. And the worst part? By the time you realize it, it might be too late. In this video, I'll break down the harsh truths behind financial struggles in old age, the most common mistakes that lead to this situation, and what you can do now, before it's too late. So if you want a future of freedom instead of fear, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. 1. You didn't respect money early enough. When you're young, money feels limitless. You get your paycheck, spend freely, and assume there will always be more. Expensive dinners, impulsive shopping, upgrading to the latest gadgets. It all seems harmless. After all, you tell yourself, I'll save later, I have time. But the truth is, time moves faster than you think, and every careless dollar spent without a plan is a step closer to financial struggle in old age. Then comes the day when you're 70. You're no longer working, your energy isn't the same, and reality hits like a storm. The money you thought would always be there is gone, and there's no way to rewind time. Imagine needing medication but hesitating to buy it because it's too expensive. Imagine struggling to afford basic needs while watching others your age travel, enjoy their hobbies, and live stress-free. The pain isn't just financial, it's emotional. Because now, regret becomes your daily companion. The truth is, people who are financially secure in their 70s didn't get there by luck. They weren't born rich or magically gifted. They simply respected money when they were young. They understood that money isn't just paper, it's security, freedom, and dignity in old age. They didn't waste it on short-term pleasures. They built their future brick by brick. And that's the brutal difference. If you don't respect money early, it won't respect you later. If you don't plan for your future, you'll wake up one day realizing the future is here, and you have nothing left. 2. You lived only for today. When you're young, life feels endless. You wake up, go to work, make money, and spend it as if tomorrow is guaranteed. You tell yourself, I'll start saving next year, or I'll figure out retirement later. But later doesn't wait for you. The years pass, and before you know it, you're 70, staring at a bank account that barely holds enough for the month. Retirement isn't a fairy tale ending if you never planned for it. Instead of peace, you face panic. Instead of traveling or relaxing, you're stressing over rent, food, and medical bills. You wonder, where did all those years go? The answer? They slipped through your fingers, one paycheck at a time. The brutal truth is this: if you don't plan for your future, no one else will. Your boss won't, your friends won't, and even your family, as much as they love you, have their own struggles. Relying on others after 70 is a dangerous game. You risk losing your independence, becoming a burden, and worst of all, living with the unbearable regret of knowing you could have done something but didn't. Time is either your greatest asset or your biggest enemy. If you waste it, it will punish you. If you use it wisely, it will reward you. The choice is yours, but the clock is ticking. 3. You thought dependence was a backup plan. Many people go through life believing that if things go wrong, someone will be there to catch them. My kids will take care of me. My family won't let me suffer. The government has programs to help the elderly, but this belief is one of the most dangerous financial mistakes you can make, because when reality hits, it hits hard. Your children, they'll love you, but they'll also have their own families, bills, and struggles. Life is expensive, and even if they want to help, they might not be able to. Your relatives? They have their own problems. And the government? The truth is, government support barely covers survival. Forget about comfort, dignity, or independence. So what happens when you reach 70 with no financial safety net? You become trapped. You don't make decisions for yourself anymore. Your circumstances make them for you. You hesitate before buying food, count pennies for medication, and worst of all, you start feeling like a burden. And that's a pain no amount of love can truly erase, because deep down, you know that every time you ask for help, it's not free. It comes with guilt, with dependence, with a loss of dignity. You don't want to live at someone else's mercy, waiting for permission to meet your own needs. But without money, that's exactly where you might end up. If you don't build your own safety net, no one else will. And by the time you realize it, it may already be too late. 4. You ignored health, which cost you everything. Most people don't realize this until it's too late. Money and health are deeply connected. The choices you make in your younger years, the food you eat, the lifestyle you live, and how well you take care of yourself will determine not just your physical well-being, but also your financial future. When you're young, skipping exercise, eating junk food, and ignoring your body's warning signs seem like small things. You tell yourself, "I'll deal with it later." But later doesn't wait. It sneaks up on you. And by the time you're 70, the bill for those years of neglect arrives, and it's more than just a financial one. Imagine this. You wake up every day in pain, unable to move like you once could. You need constant medication, doctor visits, and maybe even surgeries. But healthcare is expensive, far more expensive than you ever imagined, and without money, you're trapped. The things you took for granted, walking without assistance, enjoying a meal without restrictions, living without pain, are now luxuries you can't afford. On the other hand, those who respected their health early don't just live longer, they live better. They remain active, independent, and financially secure because they avoided the massive costs of medical crises. They don't spend their retirement funds on hospitals. They spend them on experiences, travel, and peace of mind. The choice is clear. Neglect your health now, and you'll pay for it later. Not just with money, but with your freedom, your dignity, and your quality of life. The body keeps score, and one day it collects. Will you be ready? 5. You were afraid to take smart risks. Fear is one of the greatest thieves of wealth. It convinces you to stay in your comfort zone, to avoid risk, to play it safe. But here's the harsh reality. Playing it too safe is often the biggest risk of all. Throughout life, opportunities come knocking. Maybe it was an investment you ignored because it felt too uncertain. Maybe it was a side business you never started because you feared failure. Maybe it was learning a new skill that could have increased your income, but you told yourself, "It's too late, I'll just stick to what I know." One by one, you let these chances slip away, and then you're 70. You look back, not just at the money you don't have, but at the chances you never took. The moments when you could have built something, but fear stopped you. Now you see people your age living comfortably, traveling, enjoying their golden years, while you struggle to get by. And you realize it wasn't bad luck, it was fear. Wealth isn't built by avoiding risks. It's built by taking smart, calculated ones. The people who thrive in their later years aren't just the ones who worked hard. They're the ones who took the time to understand money, build skills, and create income streams beyond just a paycheck. The saddest part, by the time you realize this, it's often too late. Regret is a heavy burden to carry, and at 70, it weighs more than ever. If you let fear control you, you won't just lose money, you'll lose time, freedom, and the life you could have had. The risk of doing nothing is the biggest risk of all. 6. You didn't build multiple streams of income. Most people spend their entire lives relying on one source of income. One job, one paycheck, one hope that everything will work out. But life doesn't work that way. Jobs end, economies crash, companies downsize, and if you've only ever depended on a single income, then the moment it disappears, so does your financial security. The people who truly thrive after 70 aren't the ones who worked the hardest, they're the ones who worked the smartest. They built multiple streams of income. They invested in assets that continued to pay them long after they stopped working. They created side businesses, rental properties, stocks, or passive income sources that gave them financial freedom. And the difference? It's night and day. While they wake up stress-free, knowing that money is still flowing in, you wake up wondering how to stretch your savings for another month. While they travel, enjoy hobbies, and live without limits, you count every penny, fearing that one unexpected expense could break you. If you don't create multiple income streams, retirement won't be freedom. It will be a prison where you're stuck, unable to do what you want, constantly worrying about bills, and regretting the years you wasted depending on just one source of income. One paycheck is never enough. If you don't build systems that pay you even when you stop working, you might spend your later years wishing you had, when it's already too late. 7. You ignored the power of compound interest. Most people underestimate the power of time and money working together. They think investing is something for the rich, something complicated, something they'll figure out later. But later doesn't wait. And when you ignore the power of compound interest, you rob yourself of the wealth you could have had. Here's the brutal truth. Money doesn't just sit, it grows. A small amount saved and invested consistently can snowball into a fortune over decades. It's not about how much you start with, it's about how early you start. Those who understood this secret didn't just save money, they built wealth. They let time do the heavy lifting, and by 70, they have financial security, peace of mind, and freedom. But if you ignored this, if you kept telling yourself, "I'll start next year," or "I don't have enough to invest," then by 70, you're left with nothing. Not because you didn't work hard, but because you didn't let your money work for you. And here's the worst part. There's no catching up. The years you lost can't be replaced. The growth you missed can't be recovered. What could have been a fortune is now just regret. The time to start was yesterday, the next best time, right now. Because even if you're late, starting is always better than standing still. And if you don't take action, the harsh reality is this: 70 won't bring you comfort. It will bring you the painful realization that time was your greatest asset, and you let it slip away. If this video scares you, good. Because fear is a wake-up call, and the best way to deal with it is to take action. If you're young, start now. Save, invest, and make smarter money decisions. If you're older, it's never too late to find ways to create income and secure your future. If you're already struggling, shift your mindset, learn, adapt, and do everything you can to build security, because even small changes can make a difference. After 70, money isn't about luxury, it's about survival, and whether you suffer or succeed depends on the choices you make today. If this message hit you hard, don't just sit there, like, subscribe, and start making the right moves now, because your future self is counting on you.